Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanim. So we have a little news here. This is on cryptoslate.com and it's titled Jeremy Hogan, SEC versus Ripple lawsuit could continue beyond 2026 as if we had a loss. I believe that we're going to win. But let's read this little tidbit here because it's good to stay up to date on information so that way we can make proper decisions just in case anything does happen, right? Anything negative does happen, right? Lawyer Jeremy Hogan said the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit could run beyond 2026, depending on the outcome of the current case that we've known. And yeah, we have also known that it could go to Supreme Court, but in the Supreme Court, we're likely to win. It says here, in November 2022, James Fallon predicted Judge Torres would deliver her verdict by March 31st, setting off a buying frenzy in the run-up. However, the date passed with no judgment given, but that's not the only date that they gave. I'm not sure which lawyers said what, but some said March, I remember. Some said April. Some people said, I believe maybe it was Brad Garlinghouse said it could end towards the summer. I've heard a bevy of different dates. Let me know in the comment section if you've heard differently or similar. It says here, John Deaton later chimed in, clarifying that March 31st was not the deadline. That's what I thought. I didn't think so. He expects the verdict to come within the next 30 to 60 days. So by the summer, like I was saying, that's what I heard. I heard by the summer, I heard it could be March. Then I heard something like April. And I also heard, once again, it's like somewhere near the summer. All right. So, but we'll see. No one is in charge of the judge. All right. These are all just predictions. That's all. All right. So, however, as pointed out by Hogan, the upcoming verdict may not be the end of the matter, but at least we have something happen. At least we know something. Right. We can move on to the next stage, whether it's positive and we can just go ahead and XRP explodes and everybody moves on. Or if we know we have to fight this in the Supreme Court, at least, psychologically, that's good to know. In the Supreme Court, we have a great chance of winning if it has to go there. At least people can feel a little bit relieved that now fate, so to speak, is leaning in our favor, right? So now let's continue on here. The SEC versus Ripple says, wait, let me scroll down here. Hogan's legal analysis. That's what I wanted to get to. Once again, if you want to read the rest of this article, it's on cryptoslate.com, okay? Says, as Garlinghouse said in his initial reaction to the SEC filing in December 2020, Ripple will take on the SEC and attempt to pave a fairer deal for the crypto industry going forward. Hogan pointed out that previous SEC crypto lawsuits were hamstrung by defendants' unwillingness to fight and the size of their defense budgets. However, with Ripple willing to fight alongside a vast war chest, this is the case that could bring an end to spurious crypto lawsuits at the hands of the SEC, said Hogan. My apologies. I'm thinking about something else. And what I'm thinking about is, now we've always postulated Ripple taking off outside of the US if they lost the case. But I want to throw something else out there. What if the rise of the BRICS nations allows Ripple to just say, while they're fighting the case, just say, you know what? Go ahead, flip the switch. Everybody start running Ripple Net, start using on-demand liquidity. I think that the rise of the BRICS nations would embolden other countries to say, you know what? We don't really need to curry favor with the United States. We don't really need to wait on them. The BRICS nations is here. It's a multipolar world right now. I'm seeing articles like that written all over the place. So maybe that emboldens countries to be able to come together and say, hey, we want to use XRP now. Let's do it now. Let's flip the switch now. We don't need to wait for a positive outcome to the SEC case. The United States is dragging things out while they're trying to set up their own systems. They have their own problems. Why do we need to suffer? Why do we need to wait? And I think that there is a possibility they could deploy on-demand liquidity, utilize XRP and XRPL before the case is over. I think they may get a little bit impatient, especially as a global depression, some people will say global recession, looks like it's settling in, right? And a lot of places are looking at possible hyperinflation, especially the United States with a lot of the dollar dumping going on. But let's continue on here. It says, however, with Ripple willing to fight alongside a vast war chest This is the case that could bring in. Okay, we read that part already. It says, considering each scenario, Hogan said if Ripple settled, all of the effort and money spent defending its case would be wasted, as the SEC would be free to continue citing the Howey test and its subjective interpretation of the law to sue crypto firms. This would also contradict Garlinghouse's previously stated intent to fight for industry-wide regulatory clarity. Hogan believes if the judge rules in favor of Ripple, the SEC will likely accept that judgment and not appeal the decision. So hopefully we get a favorable outcome like we've always hoped for and have predicted could be possible. And that is it. And then we're done here, right? XRP explodes and we're finished. It's over. You know, people can enjoy their lives and move on, right? So hopefully that occurs. So now let's move on here to another little bit of news. So now this article here is coming from coinedition.com and it's titled XRP relisting movement gains momentum amid delayed SEC lawsuit. Sure, yeah. Add my name to that. Yeah, relist XRP. Let the people get a little bit of XRP. Stop trying to keep it all for the government and for, yeah, they're in deep. Yeah, listen, it's always that way. If you just look up, do some searches on insider trading and such, yeah, some interesting stuff is going to pop up. It's not only for the central banks. It's not only for the elitists. And that's really what happens every time that something special is on the horizon. First, it gets harassed, then it gets lambasted, it gets smeared in the media, the price drops on it, and then all the powerful people with a lot of money buy it all up. Then suddenly, it's okay. They issue regulations when everybody sleeps, so to speak, mentally, right? Because everybody has given up already. And then boom, the price goes up beyond measure. Look at what happened with the .com bubble and Amazon, right? Those who were wise and kept their Amazon stock, boom, right? All right. I think that's what's happening again. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says the Ripple XRP community is reportedly stepping up efforts to have the cryptocurrency listed again on trading platforms after Coinbase pulled it off. This was allegedly due to the continuing legal conflict between Ripple Labs and U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. We've heard that before. The SEC disputes that, but let's continue on here. Despite more than 2 years of legal wrangling, XRP has yet to be recognized as a security, with community members pushing the hashtag #RelistXRP. Coinbase's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, who has backed claims by attorney John Deaton, said that XRP is not a security. Grewal supported Deaton's assertions on Twitter by asserting that, quote, investment contracts must adhere to strict requirements that Congress and the Supreme Court have interpreted. Grewal asserts that secondary transactions of digital assets, including XRP, do not include investment or contracts, and they don't. This is logical. It doesn't. Once again, Harvard Law, right? I referenced them. They said the same. Let's continue on here. According to Attorney John E. Deaton, a decision in the ongoing Ripple versus SEC case is expected in about 2 months. I can't wait. Please. I'm hoping, Judge, please, a positive verdict. All right. The most recent decision in the case was made on March 6, 2023 by Judge Annalisa Torres, who, according to records, denied the SEC's efforts to exclude testimony. Okay, let's really leave that there. Once again, if you want to read the rest of that article, it's on coinedition.com. They're doing a great job. Make sure to support them. Go over there and give them some traffic. And I would also appreciate it. I would greatly appreciate if you click that like button down below. I don't typically ask, but it helps the video greatly. When that like button isn't clicked, yeah, that video is not going to get a whole lot of views and stuff like that. And just a little clicking of the like button goes a long way to keeping the channel alive. 2 things to keep the channel alive: the members only section and clicking that little like button. All right. So this article here is on cryptodaily.co.uk and it's titled Japan embraces Web3, publishes white paper on crypto adoption. This has XRP written all over it. Japan was talking about stable coins as of recent. We covered that article recently. And it seems they're holding back on a lot of what they could do with CBDCs. Japan is very, very advanced in every possible way. Let me read this little tidbit, though. It says, under Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's administration, the white paper aims to create a more welcoming environment for cryptocurrency businesses, Boom, boom, boom. That's I'm telling you, listen, that's Ripple and Stellar. They're in deep there. And let me tell you, money goes a long way across the world, not just in the West. It goes a long way across the world. And the people that are in deep on Stellar, with EveryNet, LightNet, they have a lot of money, a lot of power. They own a lot of stores and a lot of ATMs in Japan. This has XRP and XLM written all over it, in my humble opinion. They're going to dominate. Just all we need is a positive outcome to this case. They're going to fly. Those prices will fly. Most people don't believe it. And, they get really, really upset if you would just express your opinion. That is my opinion. That is what I've seen from research. You can't have that many businesses, banks, governments, tokenization of everything, all this value and volume flowing across everything. And yet we're supposed to believe that their prices are not going to move at all. Like they're just going to stay dirt cheap. It's not logical. I just don't believe that. Oh, man. So let's scroll down here. This is XRP. It says here, the Secretary General of the party's Web3 project team emphasized that the crypto industry will shift to mass adoption. They're saying it. They're saying it. He also highlighted the entry of major Japanese players into the market. What did I say before? I told you. Such as NTT Docomo's commitment towards investing some 600 billion yen. Remember, the head of SBI Remit said that Japan will run on XRP. I think the XRPL is going to put Stellar in there. They're like layered together. I have to say it like that. I think they're going to pull everything together. All those CBDCs, they're going to pull everything together. They don't have interoperability. They don't have it. They can't. And right now, because of geopolitical tensions, they can't build it. They can't. How do they negotiate with people that they're trying to sanction? They can't do it, but they still have to. Here's the thing. So they sanction certain countries, but they still need wheat from them. They still need, some of their countries still need gasoline from them. They still need a whole heap of products from them. Most of the products are made elsewhere. They still have to interact financially. So how are you going to do that? Those countries are not going to adhere or acquiesce to using Western products. That's not going to happen. FedNow, SWIFT, all that. No, that's not going to happen. You can only do it through what we offer, the XRPL, Stellar, Algorand. We're going to glue it all those CBDCs. So it's big money, big volume and value. We're going to glue all of that together. And let me tell you something else. The people that are on the bottom, the people that are on the bottom that actually have, the willpower to continue to go forward in this, no matter how it happens, whether it happens this summer or it happens, on an extended timeline, those people from the bottom might never suffer again financially, ever. Right? I mean, that's why they say the new 1%, move all the money, right? It's possible. It's possible. But hey, do what you want. There's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just a little disclaimer there. Let's move on here. You can do what you want. All right. So here's a little bit of XLM news, a little bit of Stellar news. This is from Donnell Dixon. Donnell Dixon says, headed to DC next week to catch up with Caroline D. Pham, some other name I can't pronounce, and Carol House on the, quote, Blockchain for Social Good panel hosted by Digital Chamber and Stellar Org. You have to know how these organizations work. It's just like the governments. They enter everything with a smile and a handshake, but it's for personal benefit. Beings are like that. They're always thinking about personal benefit. Personal benefit. I hope I said that. Sorry about that. Survival, right, is the crux of every living being. Stellar wants to be the best. They want to bank the unbanked. Well, you got a lot of competition, so they're getting close to the CFTC. The CFTC wants everything to be labeled commodities, and they're constantly asking and collaborating, asking questions to Stellar and collaborating with Stellar, right? Stellar is going to dominate. The CFTC and powerful organizations like the United Nations and the World Economic Forum are going to make way for Stellar. Loss of value and volume possibly flowing across chain. What does it do to the price of XLM when you have people all over the world? This is what they're trying to do. All over the world using Stellar wallets. USDC, the biggest pusher of USDC, Stellar. Every wallet has to have a modicum of lumens. When all of that is happening, what does it do to that price of XLM? So let's move on here. So now we have a little bit of Algorand news here. It says at Ambrosetti forum last week, Algorand founder Silvio Macali shared his perspective on CeFi versus DeFi alongside Heiner Flassbeck, Noriel Rubin. Listen, Algorand is making power moves. Ambrosetti, you click on this little Twitter link here and it tells you the European house, Ambrosetti. Once again, Silvio Macali is speaking in front of a powerful crowd. Powerful. I'm very happy with what Algorand is doing. Let's move on to this next little bit here. This is why you have governments trying to work with Algorand. Why they got in deep with Italy with ease. Why they're able to move around Europe and have a successful accelerator program. Why Koi banks built on Algorand is dominating in Africa. Why they're dominating in Latin America. Because they understand the brilliance that went into building Algorand. So now, let's move on here. We have a little bit of Quant news, right? Just a little bit. And it says here, they're pushing the tokenization of carbon credits again. Why? I was reading an article earlier said that carbon credits total value at some point in the future will be in the trillions. Trillions. Yeah. This is all about money. These companies want to make profit. Trillions, right? So Quant is probably saying to themselves, well, we have the banks. We have a partner with SIA Chain and SIA Partners, LAC Chain. Let's take some of those trillions. Not a lot of people are going after those carbon credits. Well, the bank coins are definitely. And that's what this is about. And I don't think it's going to take that long because of the accelerated push of the green agenda within the West. They're all about solar energy. They're all about, hey, don't use this much carbon. So at some point now it's voluntary. And that's another thing. Those trillions were based on voluntary carbon credit usage. What happens when it's not voluntary anymore? So it'll be in the multiples of trillions. So I think the estimation was like 1 trillion. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. 1 trillion. But when it's in the when it's not voluntary anymore, it'll be in the multiples of trillions. I think that would be logical. Imagine all of that, not all of that. Imagine a modicum of that moving across Quant. What would it do to that price? And we saw what retail, Quant is one of the few bank coins that you can say that a little bit of activity sends that price skyrocketing because of the circulating supply. I love Quant. I expect Quant to be one of the absolute most explosive coins in the future. Easily. It goes up easily. You saw what it did before in the bloody bear market. It just exploded out of nowhere. It can do that again easily, especially when Quant's utility kicks in. People aren't going to believe what the price is going to be. They're not. But that's the way it always is. It was that way with Bitcoin. I expected to be that way with Quant. They don't see it coming. They say it's impossible until it's not. Same way with XRP. They say, and XLM, they say it's impossible until it happens. Then it's not impossible suddenly anymore. And they will love it. They hate it now. They hate XRP. They hate XLM. They hate Quant now. Then they'll love it later, right? It's always the way that it goes. They hated the internet at first. A lot of people, the internet, the kids getting access to bad videos and prank videos and, and then now everybody loves the internet. All those regulations rolled out, now they love the internet. Oh, the iPhone. I remember when the iPhone first came out, right? Oh, it doesn't have any buttons. And it was a lot of people. They were like, no, I want to have buttons on my phone. I remember that on the ground. I remember that. And then all of a sudden, everybody was buying iPhones. It changed everything. Some people hated it at first, and now they all love it, right? So I believe the same thing is happening right now. Maybe your experience is probably different than mine. We're from different areas. I understand. Probably everybody loved the iPhone from where you were, right? As soon as it dropped, they just loved it, accepted it. They just threw their BlackBerry on the ground, probably, right? Stomped on their Nokias, right? It wasn't that way where I came from. Everybody liked those flip phones. They liked the T-Mobile thing where it slid up and then you had like a keyboard. They liked buttons. Anyway, let's move on to another little bit of information here. So A little bit more Algorand related news. Opulus, one of our music offerings on Algorand, continues to do big things, continue to bring in big attention to Algorand and attempting to bring in good volume and value. I like what they're doing. It says this from their tweet here. It says, it's time. Tonight, we're unveiling full details of our huge event. Good advertising is going to be there, of course. This is good advertising, including how you can apply for a ticket. It says, we are thrilled to announce Opulus London event on April 29th, 2023. Listen, all I want is for them to bring more eyes, more value, more volume to Algorand. That's all I want. And it looks like they're doing a good job. So I'm thoroughly satisfied with that. All right. So now let's move on here. I'm trying to do this in a timely manner for everyone. Okay. Hope you're all doing well out there. Things have been hard for me, really hard for me. So I hope everyone's doing well out there. So now we have a little bit of HBAR news. It's from HBAR Foundation. It says 5 out of the 500 plus applications were selected to join a final pitch competition, of which three were crowned winners. The evaluation criteria of refinement were real world utility, alignment with our funds, novelty, and proven execution. So let's scroll down here, read a little bit about who won this, which I know Algorand. I know Hedera is going to make wise choices. They always do. It says in first place, we selected Alive Music _ETH, the interactive, immersive world for every song to come alive. And actually looks pretty good. Not bad. Okay. All right. They have a little video playing underneath there. So that's pretty solid. Next one. It says, next up, we have Carpine, the blockchain and IoT based supply chain track and trace solution. Ooh, like Vechain? This could be very, very good. Let's keep an eye on them. It says track and trace solution for fashion and luxury retail to create digital twins. By the way, we got a little Vechain news coming at the end of this video here. It says Post Accelerator Carpine has transformed from a traditional supply chain track and trace solution to a Web3 value chain solution with an entry into layered clothing on Roblox, providing a Web3 interface for fashion in the metaverse. That's going to make a lot of money. Roblox is a wildly popular game for a lot of different reasons right now. All right, so then we have this one here. We're going to leave off here for the Hedera news, that is. It says, finally, we have Stream NFT HQ, the conditional ownership protocol for NFTs in the Hedera ecosystem. Through this ownership, users are able to financialize their HBAR NFTs to enable in-game assets, token gated access, memberships, ticketing, subscriptions, and more. So it does a whole lot. That's pretty good. So once again, HBAR Hedera is bringing in or backing very solid companies that are going to bring a lot of value to their to Hashgraph, to their distributed ledger technology. And I hope they continue. So now let's get to a little bit of regular news here. This is from breakingthenews.net and it's titled U.S. oil rig count down by 2 to 590. We haven't covered this in quite some time, but let's get back to it. All right. This is important. Listen, all of these different things we're covering are going to affect people's lives, whether they like it or not. Let's read this. The number of oil rigs in the United States observed a weekly decline of 2 to come in at 590 in the 7-day period ending April the 6th. Baker Hughes stated in its weekly report published on Thursday. The number of gas rigs declined by 2 week by week to reach 158 compared to the same period in 2022. The count of oil rigs advanced by 44 and of gas rigs by 17. In Canada, the number of oil rigs decreased by 6 on a weekly basis and 1 on an annual 1 to land at 52. The way they wrote that is very strange. The number of gas rigs dropped by 6 compared to the previous week to 75, but increased by 17 year on year. Okay, so I'm just keeping keeping an eye on certain things that could affect our lives, But it seems like maybe there's a little bit of a balance here. I do know that there is a huge push for, phasing out of different types of energy and bringing in new types of energy. So I just personally like to keep an eye on these types of things. But it seems like here, there may be a little bit of a balance. At least in Canada, it seems like there may be a balance. Let me know if you have seen differently, okay? So now, let's go here. This is from bitcoininsider.org, and it's titled, "Could U.S. Anti-Crypto Stance Spread to Europe?" Let's scroll down here. It says, now that the U.S. government has fully thrown off the veil and is openly hostile to crypto, yeah, they definitely are. I like how you wrote that. Could it use its vast power to influence governments in Europe to follow a similar line? Yes, and I think they already have. I do. 100%. I see certain things taking place. And for some reason, Europe always follows the United States. They always do. I just want something new for the world, really. I really do. Make life better, you know. The U.S. has thrown its cap in the ring as regards its anti-crypto feelings. And so now it's obvious why the Securities and Exchange Commission, headed up by Chair Gary Gensler, has been so obstructive towards crypto companies, and why it used the blunt tool of enforcement rather than sit down and discuss how these companies can comply with regulations. It would seem that this U.S. administration has made the decision to try and eradicate crypto from its shores, possibly from the perspective of trying to defend the dollar from what it might perceive as the threat of superior payment systems arise. Yeah, they are superior. I'm glad you said it. They are far superior to what they have now, and also superior to what they claim they're going to roll out that nobody wants to use. FedNow and all of that. Says, threat of superior systems arising out of the amazing innovations in the crypto sector, and we will continue to innovate and bring better mechanisms and performance to distributed ledger technologies. That's what I believe. The SEC appears to be spending an inordinate amount of time on a tiny crypto asset class at a time when the banking system in the U.S. is on the edge of collapse. This is a good article. Make sure you check out bitcoininsider.org. They're doing a good job. Wow. U.S. power and influence may be on the wane, given that the BRICS countries, I keep talking about it. People keep telling me, hey, Mick, oh no, BRICS not a big deal. I'm saying, hey, this is what I'm reading. I'm not telling you this stuff just based on my opinion. I'm telling you what I'm reading. I would rather everyone be doing well, but I have to say, when someone's not doing well right now, the West is not doing well, and the BRICS nations is coming for them, you know, and it behooves me to prepare. I just happen to share some of my thoughts in video. Given that the BRICS countries have announced that they will be creating a common currency. When that happens, I'm telling you, beware. When that happens, be careful, be ready, which is expected to eventually rival the dollar. It won't take that long. Look how many members there are of the BRICS nations. Then take a look at how many nations want to join BRICS. I was like, that's a huge swath of the world. US dollar having been taken off of its last remaining gold backing, okay, that we know. US needs Europe, it says. The US will probably know that a ban on crypto just within its own frontiers may not lead to full crushing of the industry. Ban? Why would you say a ban? Although they are chasing away a lot of companies and they are crushing a lot of companies, but a ban? What happened when China tried to do the same thing is a lesson. Therefore, the US ban would be so much more impactful if it could persuade European bloc to do the same. Well, why are you talking about a ban? Let me scroll up. Is something that I missed? I don't think I did. Why would you be talking about a ban? I don't even want to generate that energy, honestly, just speaking about it, truth be told. So it's not only on the political front, but also in banking. Much influence could be brought to bear by the US. That's true. And you already see a lot of people moving out of the US to other places that are just better overall, but also crypto friendly. A lot of people moving to Dubai. All right. And you'll see, and that's what's going to happen. A lot of wealth, if the United States continues to do what it does, this already begun, but a lot of wealth will leave the United States. Yeah, that's it. And hey, let's move on to another article here. So, a little bit of XDC news here. XDC Foundation tweeted this out here. XDC 2.0 is nearly here. Revisit Dr. Fisher Yu's video on hashtag XDC Networks, XDC 2.0 upgrade highlighting the advanced Byzantine fault tolerance security, rapid transactions, and real-time attacker identification. So XDC is about to get a protein shake and power up, and that's what I like to hear. I think XDC has a very, very bright future, brighter than most people probably think. And I'm excited to see once there's regulatory clarity and they can just, you know, unleash themselves, what XDC is going to do. So now let's move on here to another little article. So, oh, a little bit more XDC news. Okay. It says just in, hashtag Paxo Finance has officially launched on the Zenfin official XDC Apathem testnet. Stay tuned for more updates on this exciting development in the world of DeFi. So there you have it. More great activities happening on Zenfin XDC. All right. Now, let's go here to a little bit of Vechain news. Yeah, beincrypto.com has this article on it, on its front page. Vechain, VEET, is edging closer to a bullish breakout. Yeah, I can only hope. I love Vechain. They have a huge ecosystem. I'm waiting for them to go on a rampage next bull run. I think Vechain is going to do unbelievable numbers, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. It says, the Vechain price has increased since the beginning of the year, while the upward movement has not come close to reaching the long-term descending resistance line in place since the all-time high. It was successful in reclaiming the 2-cent support area. This rendered the previous breakdown as a deviation. These deviations and reclaims usually bode well for the future price. VEET created a higher low in March 2023, characterized by a long lower wick. Vechain is going to continue to do extremely well. If you want to read the rest of this, they have like 3 charts here. They're doing a great job over here. So on beincrypto.com, but there's another piece of Vechain information I want to get to before the end of this video. And it's here, a tweet from Eisenreich, and it says Vechain Tech, ex Gustav Garrick AG, quote, congratulations to Gustav Garrick for successfully implementing their tuna fish tracking project using Vechain's blockchain as a service product tool chain. And then there's actually, they have the paper here. So it says congratulations, Gustav Garrick. And then it reiterates what was at the top. This is a significant achievement that showcases the power of blockchain technology in improving supply chain transparency and sustainability. Vechain continues to do unprecedented things with tracking and traceability. By leveraging Vechain's solution, Gustav Garrick is enabling consumers to trace their tuna fish back to its origin. Tuna fish. Like, holy smokes. Keep it going, Vechain. Ensuring that it was ethically sourced and sustainably harvested. At a time when consumers are increasingly conscious of the impact their purchasing decisions have on the environment, initiatives like this play a crucial role in building trust and promoting responsible business practices. Vechain continues to do great things, and I'm very happy to see that. Now, let's end off here. All right, I think we're making some good time today. A little bit of gold news. This is gold price forecast is from fxstreet.com, and it goes as such. Gold has benefited strongly from the fall in yields and decline in the USD. Economists at Credit Suisse look for a test of major resistance at the $2,070 highs to $75 highs, right? Break under 55 DMA at $1,898 would suggest another reversion lower. Yeah, that's definitely possible. It says, whilst this should clearly be respected, a clear and sustained break higher would mark a major bullish long-term breakout to open the door to a move to $2,300 next. Ideally, quote, ideally, the 55 DMA, currently seen at $1,898, floors the market now. If this breaks, this would lessen the risk of a breakout above $2,070 and suggest another reversion lower within broader range, with the next support at $1,778. All right, so listen, I expected a little bit of volatility after all of the banks collapsed and things of that nature, and people retreated to gold. As they become more comfortable, slowly they'll begin to liquidate that value, probably sell that gold, right? And take that capital back to where it came from, to some major bank or something like that, or to some other investments. I expect a lot of people to do that. They never intended to retreat to gold, but things happened, and someone probably told them, hey, gold is a great store of value, which they found that it is. And so just like they put it in, I expect many of them to liquidate and pull that value out of there. And so, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of volatility. However, in the future, I do anticipate massively negative economic catalyst that could send gold's price soaring once again. We're still doing pretty good, actually. When we start covering gold, it was at a much lower place. So it's looking good, in my humble opinion. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.